Maybe I'll remember the question in the middle of the answer.
That was my fault.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Sasha and I both really like about you, and we kind of want to see if you can go into this a little bit, is that you're super, and you kind of mentioned it, you're super transparent on your media, which I think is really unique because a lot of times on the media, everyone's trying to put their perfect life out there, you know, and even though you do have some great like photos, like, you know, I can dig them, but you are also very open about other parts of your life. What were you always like that, or like how do you feel about that? And even on TikTok.
Yeah, so to me, it was one of those things that I try to be who I like others to be. So I was always gravitated towards people that were more organic, that were more transparent. You know, perception is reality to some people. So whatever you put out there, people really see. And I think in the world that we're living in right now with social media, everybody paints whatever picture they want, you know? And you start to get this unhealthy envy of, you know, this influencer lifestyle that's all complete bullshit, you know? Like these people are like sacrificing themselves to what they want to be seen as, and that to me, it ain't gonna happen. I am somebody, like I said earlier, I've had my trials and tribulations. I have suffered with anxiety since I was a teenager. It goes into a world of like panic and spiraling. And it just becomes one of those things that I rather be like, I feel like there's so many people that feel like that. And instead of feeling that they can connect with others that feel like that, they just seeing like what all the things that they're putting forth, which is all unreal.
Right.
So I never want to be seen like that. I always want to be me. And if you like me or if you don't like me, I could give a shit. But I want you to know that this is what you are having, you know? Yeah. And I think I lead with kindness always, you know, I don't find it hard to be nice or to be kind. So that to me is also something that's just very innately inside of me. I'm very empathetic. I'm understanding. It's not, I don't think that I have like a mean bone in my body. Not to say I can't be shady and petty. There's that part of me too, but I always try to lead with the other side. So to me, it's just, it's important to give you what I got, and what I got is what I am.
Right.
And that's always going to be what I push forward. So yeah, I mean, I love taking pictures, but I just went through a little bit of like a health thing with my body, just not dealing with stress in the way it was supposed to. Stress is a killer. Being your own boss and being an owner of a small business, you will carry that stress and that weight on your shoulders, and it will manifest itself into things. So I wanted to make sure that people knew, because I feel the more information people have, the more that they can understand what you're going through.
And they feel connected.
And they feel connected. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, oh, dude, the outpouring of love and care that I was getting, I like, it's almost overwhelming. It was one of those things where they're like, because I'm the type of person that I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like I failed myself. I'm like, I had to close my Etsy for a few weeks. And it was one of those things where I was just profusely like apologizing for it. And because I was so earnest and so honest about it, people were like, it's fine. Take care of yourself, you know, like you'll come back better than ever. Yeah. And that level of understanding was so amazing to me.
And I think that probably helps. Whereas if you didn't do that, you would have still beat yourself up.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And like no one would have been able to relieve it. And you would have just, and maybe a lot of small business owners do that, where they're afraid of showing too much because of like showing a weakness or being vulnerable or whatever it is. And then they end up just beating themselves up and digging themselves a deeper hole. So I feel like it helps too, to just be more transparent, because you're also like building a community, and you're all lifting each other up. I feel like that's kind of the good thing about the whole pandemic thing, is I feel like it's helping like the virtual community get a little stronger.
Yes, absolutely.
So that you can like help each other.
Because it is something that we're all going through. It's not an isolated thing. It's something that we've all had to kind of shift our lifestyles into. And it was a terrible, scary thing. I mean, like right now it still is, but there's things like the vaccine and there's hope, and there's, you know, little signs of things getting back to normal. But it was something that we all went through, you know, like it's going to be something that people in the future are going to talk about. Like the coronavirus was something very real that we all went through, you know, together. And there has to be a level of understanding when it comes to things like that. Like you can't.
I think like with the anxiety component too, I feel like the pandemic itself has added more anxiety to people that already had anxiety. So there's that. Yeah. But I also think a lot of small business owners have anxiety to some degree, because there can also be like a high functioning anxiety where you're just always doing stuff, which is totally me.
I know, and, Sasha.
I own it, but I also had like social anxiety from when I was younger, and I feel like the main thing that helped with it was exposure therapy, where like you purposefully find situations where you're having to like face your fears.
Oh yeah.
And teach your body how to deal with it, or teach your mind how to deal with it. So I feel like
when Kat brought up the idea of doing this interview with you guys, I think the first thing I told you, I was just like, it scares me, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I was like, I'm absolutely like talking and like rambling because I'm a rambler. If you didn't notice. When she brought up the idea to me, I was just kind of like, oh my God, like talking on then live, and oh my God, like all these little things were like, it completely consumed me. I think I like sank into my chair and I was just like, okay, but let's do it. You know what I mean?
This is you practicing for when you get on Oprah, okay?
Oh yeah, girl, I wish. You get an earring, and you get an earring, and you get an earring. But it is definitely one of those things where you have to do that though. Like you have to put yourselves in situations that scare you to get above it, you know?
Yeah. I think that's like the benefit of being a small business owner is you challenge yourself all the time, because you have to fit so many hats and do so many things. And I remember I would do like events or, more social things that I wasn't used to doing or was like scared of doing. But every time you just get more comfortable with it. Like you have to go through it. And then I think as the more you do it, the more like perfect you can like become. And I don't know.
Of course. That happened to me a lot when I started showing at markets and at fairs, because there is a comfort in doing it from your home. Yeah. I also feel that I'm a little bit more well-spoken via like text or via email or via messaging. When you're put in a situation where you're selling your stuff in front of a person, that is a completely different reality.
Because they're like evaluating you. They're just
and you can see expression. You know what I mean? Like you can see if you've lost them. You can see if they're like just waiting for you to stop talking.
Or you're like, kind of like, should I tell them more about the process, or is it the price? Is it the price they're looking at? Is it the color scheme?
Right. Am I going too far into this? Like, do they not care?
And you can't forget that I also come from a hospitality background where I had to sell specials. So my brain kind of works like that, where I'm like, so this dish was made from this type of, cut that came. So I can go into detail like
which
crazy.
is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people don't care.
They're just like, it's cute.
Yeah.
I just want these cute earrings. Like,
they're like, I was just thinking of an outfit I had at home.
Yeah, that's it. And so when you're like faced with them in front of you, it just becomes like a whole